I don't care. Starting now because I gotta knock this shit out in 10 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another phenomenal episode. Pardon my alarm. Another phenomenal episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. I'm your host, that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. 4 continents down, 2 more to go. No cap. Straight facts. The worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. But it's not about me. You see, tonight we have a special event. We have the calm before the storm, maybe the storm that's already here. And I'm talking about WWE NXT Stand and Deliver live tonight, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time for my East Coast riders. You know, and that's going to be 4 o'clock p.m. for my West Coast riders. And let me tell you, Stand and Deliver, it always delivers, man. I guess that's why it's called that. You know what it is. But we have 7 great matches tonight, one of which will be on the pre-show. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through the card of each. We're gonna go through each match, and then afterwards, for those of you that are actually watching, you can actually give your own. You can actually give your own predictions as well too, because we always welcome, fan interaction, because like I said, the fans, they can make or break an event as well. So that's what we're gonna do right now. And as a matter of fact, hold on, let me go ahead and do this real quick, because I actually was when I was setting up, I actually forgot that I needed to actually make some technical adjustments. So let me go ahead and post the link on Instagram for y'all real quick. And we're actually gonna not post the link on Instagram, but post the
like any team.
Post the new link. Hold on, give me a second. Hold on. But yeah, we have 7 matches going on, and give me 1 second, y'all. Sorry, technical difficulties. Like I said, this was all on me. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Almost there. Hold on. Sorry. Give me just a few more seconds. All right. So let's get this party started. So we have 7 great matches. Let me get the card up real quick. I'm trying to find it right now. Let's see. All right, here we go. We have 7 great matches. And WWE is actually emanating from the factory at the District in St. Louis, Missouri. Shout out to all our, all the great people of St. Louis, Missouri. I hope y'all enjoy this event. I hope it's memorable. And I hope y'all have a safe journey to and from this event. So we have 7 matches. 7 matches. and it's going down. So we have one match that's going to be on the pre-show, which starts at 6:00 p.m., which is 3:00 p.m. for my West Coast riders. 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3:00 p.m. West Pacific Standard Time. For all my people in the middle, that's going to be 5 o'clock, and for all my people in the mountains, that's going to be 4 o'clock. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and dive into this. For those of you that actually want to give your own opinions, feel free to do so. Unfortunately, for those of you on Twitter, I can't see what's going on Twitter because we have a situation with our account where it's it was actually hacked, and we're trying to figure out how to get it back if we could. If not, we're just best believe by WrestleMania we will have our either have our Twitter account back or a new Twitter account. Just give us some time. But yeah, so we have NXT Stand and Deliver, and so the first match we have 7 great matches. The first match we have is a 10-person mixed tag team match, and this is on the pre-show. It's going to be the team of Hank and Tank, which are Hank Walker and Tank Ledger, with Shiloh Hill and EK Prosper versus with Ren Sinclair versus Birthright, which are the team of Lexus King. Hold on, give me 1 second, y'all. Sorry about that. Had a brief had to go answer the door real quick. But yeah, so all right, so NXT Stand and Deliver. So all right, and so we have Hank and Tank with Shallow Hill and EK Prosper, and along with Ren Sinclair versus Birthright, which are the team of Lexus King, Channing Stacks Lorenzo, Charlie Dempsey, Uriah Connors, and Ariana Grace. Honestly speaking, two great teams, but I have to say that Birthright I don't see Birthright losing. They just started. They need this win. It would look bad for a stable that just started to actually lose, and they have somewhat promise. They have pretty decent promise. They're kind of, I guess you could say, a throwback to Legacy, a throwback to the Hart Dynasty and the Hart Foundation. But I don't see them as strong as them, but they have promise. But I know I'm gonna go with them getting the win. But I know something. Miss Ariana Grace, who is the current TNA Knockouts champion, she gonna learn about Ren Sinclair. She gonna learn. I'm telling you right now. She's definitely gonna learn. But big ups to her. She got to beat Zaya Brookside. If she loses that title, she better be ready for the competition at NXT, because you got heavy hitters like Tatum Paxley, Blake Monroe, who we'll talk about later on. You got JC Jane, Kendall Gray, Lola White. The thing is, can she keep up with those women? That's the big question. We're gonna see that, because as far as I'm concerned, there's 2 different Ariana Graces. There's one in TNA, and there's one in TNA, and then there's the one in NXT. And the one in NXT is like, she's not there yet. But we'll see. Crazier things have happened. I mean, come on. Who would have thought Maxine Dupree would have ended up being a badass? So yeah, I'm gonna go with Birthright for that one. So the next match we have is a tag team match for the NXT Tag Team Championship, and it's going to be the defending champions, the Vanity Project, the team of Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes, accompanied by their stablemate Jackson Drake, versus Los Americanos, which are the tag team of Bravo Americano and Rayo Americano, accompanied by El Grande Americano. So I'm going to say this. Two great tag teams. Vanity Project have definitely proven they belong. They won the tag team titles. I like this for them. This stable, if they work it right, this stable could be that stable to end up, doing great things, not just on NXT, but also the main roster. Just got to give them some time. I'm going to go with the Vanity Project retaining. They're going to retain, but we're definitely going to see some outside action between Jackson Drake and El Grande Americano. The question is that which El Grande Americano are we going to be seeing? Are we going to be seeing the original or the new one? It makes you wonder. Okay, so I'm going to go with the Vanity Project to win this one. The next match we have is a singles match for the NXT North American Championship, and it's going to be the defending champion Miles Bourne versus Johnny Gargano, aka Johnny Wrestling. Man, I gotta tell you, Miles Bourne is definitely an inspirational wrestler. He has shown that even though you may have a physical, impairment, that you can still achieve your dreams, and I like this for him. The man's hella talented, and the man's gonna go far. I got a feeling he's gonna go very far. And there's no stopping him. It's funny how people compare him to like 2009 Randy Orton. I don't think y'all want 2009 Randy Orton, but y'all might not have a choice come WrestleMania. But that's a whole other story. And then we have Johnny Gargano, who is, on a path, who's making a comeback of sorts. And you know what? I honestly think I have a feeling Johnny Gargano is going to get the win. I have a feeling he's going to get the win, and he's going to have it's going to be courtesy of either Candice LeRae, or maybe even maybe even the Motor City Machine Guns. I mean, for some reason I got a feeling that. Or more specifically, Alex Shelley. For some reason, I got a feeling that he's going to get help from somebody, either one of the two of them, and win this match. So I'm going to be brave and say Johnny Gargano is going to actually get the win. All right, so the next match we have is a triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship. It's going to be the defending champion, JC Jane, versus Kendall Gray, versus Lola Vice. Man, this is a great match. JC Jane has come a long way. Yo, y'all don't get it twisted. JC Jane might not seem much on, some of y'all might think she's a paper champion. Some of y'all might think that she's not worthy of the title. Some of y'all might have your own opinions. Me personally, I like this for her because the woman has worked hard. I know about JC Jane from back in the Indies when she was on Shine. I actually got to see her wrestle back in 2019 in Queens, New York at a Shine event. And it was awesome. And it just goes to show that you never know who's going to be who in professional wrestling. Imagine almost 7 years ago, I was watching this woman wrestle in Queens, New York for Shine Wrestling. Had a big standing. She had a big ovation. And now she's doing her thing in WWE NXT as the NXT Women's Champion. You love to see it. Then we have Kendall Gray, who has actually just blown up since, man, I remember just last year, she was actually in a tag team with Carly Bright. And I was like, the two of them stick together. They have a lot of promise. And then Kendall Gray just went off on her own, did her thing. And, now she's, a contender for the NXT Women's Championship. She actually recently vacated the Evolve Women's Championship because she was getting called up to NXT. And man, she's definitely shown herself as a singles competitor. And then you have Lola Vice, a woman who is, man, destined, for greatness. Definitely destined. I could see her if WrestleMania it was in Miami again. I could see her having a crazy pop and a badass entrance if it ever goes to Miami again, and when it goes to Miami again, because come on, why not? And I'm gonna go ahead and say this: Kendall Gray just got to NXT. This is no slight against her, but I think this is Lola Vice's time, so I'm gonna go with Lola Vice. Okay, so the next match we have is a singles match, and man, how the times have changed. Last year, these two were the best of friends, great tag team, and now they're actually facing each other, one-on-one in the ring. This is crazy. As a matter of fact, no. Let me redo that statement. Last year they fought each other in a ladder match for the vacant NXT Women's North American Championship. And now they're fighting each other one-on-one. There are no other women in the match. It's just the two of them. And I'm talking about Sol Ruka versus Zarya. Man, Zarya got tired of not, getting the opportunity she deserves. She got tired of losing. Sol Ruka always has sworn she's been a good friend to Zarya. And these women have been going back and forth, throwing hands and whatnot. You know what? I'm going to be brave and say Zarya is going to get this one. I got a feeling that she's going to get the upset win. And this is going to be the beginning of her tear through the competition in NXT. And onward to the main roster. I'm going to go with Zarya. All right. The next match we have is a singles match for the NXT Women's Championship, North American Championship. It's going to be Tatum Paxley, the defending champion, versus Blake Monroe. Okay, so let's see. These two have been at it for the last couple of months. It all started when Blake Monroe. No, hold on. What am I saying? I almost mistook Blake Monroe for Izzy Dame. Okay. Tatum Paxley and Blake Monroe. Sorry, I got those two mixed up. Oh, man. Blake Monroe and Tatum Paxley. I'm going to have to say this. I'm going to go with Blake Monroe getting this championship again. Because for some reason, I don't see... Tatum Paxley has done it all. She's been NXT Women's Champion. She has been... she's now NXT Women's North American Champion. I mean, what else is there? I mean, she's hella good. And, I'm going to say this, like I said, with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. The only person I see her, I think what WWE is doing is they're positioning her they're putting her for a main roster call-up very soon. I'm talking like probably after WrestleMania. That's what I see them doing. So in all honesty, I think, in all honesty, I'm going to have to go with Blake Monroe regain the North American Championship. And afterwards, I think Tatum Paxley is going to make her main roster debut. For some reason, I don't see Bayley, and I know, over on her friend, Lara Valkyria, is scheduled to have a match where she teams with Bayley to fight for the Women's Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania. I don't see them winning those championships together. For some reason, I see it being Tatum and Lyra. For some reason, I just don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna go with this. Is gonna be a crazy match though. Like I said, Blake Monroe is no joke. She's pretty, but she's deadly at the same time. No no offense to Elton Prince and Kit Wilson for stealing their name. But yeah, I'm gonna go Blake Monroe to regain. And the last match we have for a fatal four-way for the NXT Championship. It's gonna be Joe Hendry, the defending champion, versus Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page versus Tony D'Angelo. 4 strong competitors. 2 out of a matter of fact, 3 out of 4 of these men have held that championship. Tony D'Angelo's the only one that's never had a taste of the gold. And Tony D'Angelo has done a huge revamp of who he is. I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm going to be brave and say Joe Hendry's going to retain. I don't see him losing yet. Although it would be interesting to see him go on the main roster. But Joe Hendry's going to retain for some reason. That's what I'm going to go with. But yeah, anyways, those are my predictions. If you have any predictions of your own, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Whether it's, if you're watching on YouTube or whether it's Twitter. And we'll try to have some polls up later on. But yeah, that's the match. I don't have any general predictions right now, but I know it's going to be a great card. And it seems kind of weird because normally NXT Stand and Deliver is actually the same, like around the same. It's actually the same week as WrestleMania. I'm surprised they did it this way this time. But hey, I mean, I guess they, changes are there for a reason. That I guess they have their own reason for doing it. But yeah, it just feels weird. Anyways, that's the card. And with that being said, it's about that time for us to shut this show down. My stomach is rumbling. It's a nice day out today. So that means it's time for me to have some, lunch now and make a move outside. But before I do that, for those of you that are watching, thank you very much. Really and truly appreciate it. We strive on being one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to. We're not going to stop being that. To those of y'all that are going to listen later on and get a chance, thank you very much in advance. And those of y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away. Well, like myself for the Golden Corral, we're not going anywhere for a while. But going to make this quick. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram. Not Twitter, not yet. I mean, we're still working on that. But make sure you follow us on Instagram. Make sure you follow us on Blue Sky. It's at Ringside Society. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group. As Ringside Society. We're on Spotify. We're also on Teespring, where we sell our official Ringside Society merchandise. And we're also on YouTube, where you can see cool episodes like this one, like the one we had recently with De La Vega, who's a talented artist and a professional wrestler and talented artist as well too. So make sure you check out that interview as well. And to see them, it's really simple. Just go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society, and when you see that dark blue and light blue yin yang sound with the blue flames around it, that's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up. And if you want to follow me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool things, well, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at the Remy Blue. I call it Twitter. I'm not gonna stop calling it Twitter. I mean, it is what it is. I'm also on Blue Sky at remyblue.bsky.social. I'm also on Facebook, as you guessed it, Remy Blue. And last but not least, I'm also on, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's it pretty much. But yeah, those are my socials. And with that being said, I'm just gonna end it right here. And I also want to say this right now. Like I said, I get it. We understand that everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast, but I want y'all to remember this. We're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. # we are not the same. So with that being said, right now, I'm going to say it one time for the mind, one time for the people. one time for the wrestling culture, one time for the great city of St. Louis, and one time for WWE NXT Stand and Deliver, which is going to knock it out the park. We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, and we'll be back later on next week with another impressive guest, another impressive episode. But until then, we just have 4 favors for y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and enjoy wrestling. We out. Peace.